Hi, and welcome to your prenatal yoga class that has been specifically designed to help with lower back pain, especially during pregnancy. Now, it's really important to note that although these poses in general are known to help to relieve back pain and give the back a nice stretch, they're not suitable for everyone because everyone's made up differently and you do different things during the day and you might have different injuries and all that kind of thing. So it's really important to just practice observing and noticing how something's feeling. If you find that if you're ever in any of these poses and your breathing becomes labored or you're kind of like you're tensing up, you're not able to relax when you're in the pose, then chances are then it might not be the best pose for you. If you have any questions in regards to any of the poses, you're more than welcome to email us via the feedback button that you'll find on the main classes page of the website. But if a pose just doesn't feel good, then come into one that we've done previous that did feel nice, or just sit quietly in child's pose for a few moments while we practice that pose, and then when we move on you can join back in, or you can kind of skip that pose and move on to the next one if you want to. But we're going to begin today's practice in child's pose. So we're going to have the knees nice and wide to accommodate our blossoming bellies. Bring the toes together. And then just very mindfully begin to bring ourselves down into a child's pose. Now, ideally, your hips are down by your heels, resting comfortably back. If you are someone that isn't comfortable in this position, then you could keep the hips stacked over top of the knees and then stack the fists and come down like so. If you are okay with bringing the sit bones all the way down, then you come down here. And you'll notice there that I've got blankets and cushions for support. If you like, you could bring a blanket underneath your feet, or you could bring the blanket between your thighs and your shins for some added comfort as well. It's all about finding a level of the pose that feels good for you. All right, so once you've figured out what feels good, rest the forehead down on stacked hands or on the floor. Extend the arms out, but keep the elbows nice and soft. We're going to practice that beautiful breathing in and out of the nostrils, into belly. Exhaling fully. And as you inhale to the belly, fill it up like a balloon. See if you can wrap that inhale round the lower back as well. Sending some love and some space there, and then just full exhale out. Keep on going in your own time. Inhale, fill belly. Wrap that breath around lower back. Exhale the breath all the way out. 5 more breaths. Going at your own pace, no rush. Really focusing on breathing big. Two more breaths to go. When you've taken your next exhale, you're just going to bring your hands to the floor, gently press yourself up, closing the knees over as you rise. And then just sit back on the heels for a moment. Keep the spine nice and long, roll the shoulders. And then come up onto hands and knees. So as always, we stack the hips over knees, shoulders over top of wrists. And we're coming into our cat-cow postures. So for our inhale, we lift the tailbone, dip the belly, lift the gaze. As we exhale, we curl the tailbone under, roll through the spine, bring the chin towards the chest. So as we inhale, curl the tailbone, crown the head up. And as we exhale, we curl under. So these are called cat-cow. Inhaling, dipping the belly is your cow pose. Exhaling, curling tailbone under is your cat pose. And as you continue to roll through your cat-cows, it's really important to notice if one or the other doesn't feel that nice. I know for me, sometimes when my lower back is playing up or feels sensitive, when I actually come into cow pose, which is what I'm in now, it actually doesn't feel that nice. So I tend to kind of linger more in cat pose. You might be the opposite. Both might feel nice, both might not feel nice. So just kind of playing around with what does feel nice. And just being really mindful to begin from the tailbone and then roll like a wave through the middle back to the upper back to the crown of the head, no matter whether you're doing your cat or your cow. And most importantly, keeping that breath nice and even as you flow. So we're just going to do about 3 more rounds here. Paying attention as to how the body is responding, particularly the lower back. Anytime you need to come down, you could rest in child's pose. Once you finish your next exhale, come back into your neutral tabletop. And from here, we'll begin to do some torso circles. So we're going to draw circles with the navel. So we're going to dip the belly down and then roll through the back. Once again, this might feel really nice on your back. And if it does, then that's great. Go nice and slow, be mindful. Treat your body with care. If it doesn't feel good, go back to cat-cow, maybe child's pose. If you are enjoying your torso circles, do 1 more round. And then pause and do them in the opposite direction. Go nice and slow, team the breath up with the movement. As you inhale, belly dips down, so you're drawing the underside of the circle. As you exhale, belly draws in, you're drawing the top of the circle. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last circle. All right, come back into neutral tabletop. Nice work. From here, we're coming into pigeon pose, and you might like to have a cushion or a blanket to support underneath the hips. So to begin with, we're just going to slide the right shin forward. So the right knee is just below the right wrist. And then you're going to extend the left leg out back. Now, we want to keep the hips nice and even, so we don't want to be dropping over towards the right or over towards the left. If you do feel like you're kind of sagging over to the right, then take a folded blanket, a pillow or a cushion and tuck it underneath your right sit bone. And this should help just to even you out a little bit. Now from here, you could stay lifted, chest and chin up, or if it feels okay, then you might come down onto your forearms. Depending on how much room you've got there for belly. If you have a bolster, you could have the bolster long ways so that you could hug around the bolster. That's quite a nice option as well. If you don't, that's okay too. If you have a block handy, and you might even take the block and rest the forehead down on the block. So we're just going to pause here, eyes closed, jaw relaxed, muscles around the eyes and mouth relaxed, shoulders feeling relaxed, give them a little wiggle. And we're just going to breathe big into the torso, breathe into the belly. Once again, we're just always noticing any discomfort, any sensitivities, any tension being created because there's pain there. Modifying as we need to. I'm going to pause here for 3 more breaths. Big breath into belly. Full exhale out. Slow, mindful exhales. After your next exhale, just gently pressing yourself up with hands. Tuck the back toes under so that you can shift the hips forward and release the knee back to the floor. Maybe move your cushion or pillow out the way for a moment. Come up onto hands and knees. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Tuck the toes. Take a big inhale. Lift into downward facing dog. Press those sit bones back. So give yourself enough space for your blossoming belly. Widen your stance if you need to. Big breaths into belly. As you inhale, you're pressing your hands into the mat. You're lifting your hips. You're pressing your sit bones back as you exhale and reaching your heels down towards the floor. Feel free to kind of shift the hips from side to side, pedal the heels. One more breath here. And then exhale, bring the knees down to the floor. Keep the knees wide, toes together, and shift back into child's pose for a moment. Nice deep full breaths in and out. Come back up onto hands and knees. We're going to do the left side of our pigeon. So this time we're going to shift the left shin through to the front. So once again, that left knee is just behind or below the left hand. I'm going to extend the right leg out back. Now, if you have a full blossoming belly, then it might be more comfortable just to stay up, all right? There's always the option to stay up. Or even if you have a block, you might do something like this to rest the forearms on top of the block, or something that's high enough that you could comfortably rest. Remember that we want to keep the hips nice and even, so we don't want to fall over to the left or to the right. So if you need to place a blanket underneath like so for support, then you can do that. I'm going to use the block on this side because my belly felt a bit restricted on the other side. I'm going to actively relax the jaw and the features of the face. And breathe big into the belly. And just coming into that observer's mode where you're just noticing how the body's reacting to the shape of your body right now, this pose, modifying as you need to, remembering that there's always the option to come out if it's too much, or we're here for too long, or it just doesn't feel nice on your lower back or anywhere else for that matter. And coming back to a previous pose, perhaps child's pose, cat-cow, torso circles. Down dog if that felt nice. Wherever you are, just allowing the body time and space. Breathing big. We'll pause here for 3 more breaths. Last breath in together. Big breath in. Full exhale. Nice work. Bring the palms to the floor. Removing your block or any padding that you were using. Slowly lifting the right knee up so that you can shimmy the left knee back so that we're back into our tabletop. If it feels okay to come into down dog, then spreading the fingers wide and pressing down through the hands, tucking the toes, taking a big inhale to lift. Widening your stance if you need to, bending the knees, pressing the sit bones back, maybe gentle sway side to side. Pedaling the heels out, shaking the head, keeping the jaw nice and relaxed. 3 more breaths here. Big breath into belly. Full exhale out. Last breath in. And exhale. Nice work. All right. Gently press or walk the hands back towards the feet. Bend the knees deeply. Bring the hands on top of the thighs. And then slowly lift yourself up to standing. Nice work. Turn sideways on your mat so that you can step out nice and wide. We're going to come into extended side angle and then triangle pose. So turning the right toes out to the short edge of the mat first, left toes in slightly. Line up your front heel with your middle back foot. Take an inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, bend into the right knee. So we begin in Warrior 2. Then we're going to bring our right forearm down to our thigh. So I want you to keep the spine nice and long here. And then take a big inhale, lift the left arm up. And just pause here in our extended side angle. Now I want you to see if you can press into the sole of your right foot. Feel the right thigh activate and keep the spine nice and long. So we want to see if we can kind of spiral the ribs up and press the top shoulder back just gently. We don't have to yank it back and cause another injury or pain, but we're just kind of spiraling the heart open towards the sky if you like. We've got 2 more breaths here. Last breath in. Full exhale. We're going to press up through the sole of the right foot, straighten out that right leg. Take an inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, pivot the hips towards the left. And then from this hip crease area here, we're going to reach with the right arm. Slowly bring the right hand down, lift the left arm up. Now we're in our triangle pose. If you do have a block handy, you could use the block for some support. And same rules here as we did in our extended side angle. We want to kind of spiral the ribs open and then gently press that top shoulder back just a little way. Nice deep breaths in and out. Noticing and observing the body. Last breath in. Beautiful. Exhale. Bend into that right knee. Gently press yourself up. And we're going to move on to the other side. So begin with the feet parallel. And then we're going to shift the left toes towards the short edge of the mat. Right toes in slightly. Line up your heel with your middle arch. Take an inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale as you settle just briefly into your warrior two. We're going to bend that left forearm, bring it down to the thigh. Take an inhale, lift the right arm up. Focusing on keeping the spine nice and long. Seeing if we can open the ribs up towards the sky. Gently open the chest by pressing the top shoulder back. Looking straight ahead, maybe down, depending on how your neck feels. 2 more breaths. Last breath, big inhale. Full exhale. Nice work. Press through that left foot all the way up. Straighten that left leg. Take a big inhale, float the arms up. Pivot the hips towards the right. From that left hip crease, reach, 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 reach. Slowly dropping that left hand down, lifting the right arm up. Adjusting your gaze once again. Trying to imagine the spine stays nice and long, almost as if you were pressing yourself up against a wall. If you can imagine how that might feel. 2 more breaths here in our triangle pose. Last breath together, big inhale. Full exhale. Nice work. Soften that left knee. Come all the way up. Bring your feet to parallel. Going to move into goddess pose, and then we're going to do a forward fold before coming down. So, feet are parallel to begin with, and then we turn the heels in, toes out. Now stand nice and tall, shoulders rolling down, back of the neck stays nice and long. Take an inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, you're going to bend the elbows and bend the knees. So this is a powerful goddess pose. So shift the weight so that it's even between the soles of the feet. Feel the thighs engage here. And then take big breaths in and out. Lengthening the tailbone down so the spine stays nice and long. 3 more breaths. Big inhale. Full exhale. 2 more, you got this. Big inhale. Exhale. Last one, big inhale. Exhale. Whew. Take an inhale, lift up. Exhale the arms down. Bring the feet back to parallel. And then you might even turn the toes in just slightly and have a little micro bend of the knees. We're going to come into a forward fold. So bring your hands around your hip crease area. So this is your waist, this is your hips, this is your hip crease area. Take a big inhale. Lift and lengthen. As you exhale, you're going to press the sit bones back and the chest forward. Come down to your halfway point. Lengthen the back of the neck so you're staring straight down. From here, you might just keep your hands on your hips and your sit bones pressing back, or you might release the hands down to the floor and let the torso just drift down as well. Now, if you need to, you could take a block or maybe a thick book or something similar to place the hands on for support. This is uncomfortable for you, especially in the lower back area, then just gently come out of it and maybe practice your downward facing dog instead. Child's pose. Anything else that felt like it was okay to be in. If you are still with me, we've got 3 more breaths here.
Last breath in together, big inhale. Full exhale. Nice work. Come up to your halfway point, so press the sit bones back, spine's nice and long, back of the neck's long. Bring your hands to your hips. Soften the knees just a little bit, and then as you inhale, keep the back nice and long as you come all the way up to standing. Nice work. Heel toe the feet back and together. Stand nice and tall for a moment, arms down alongside you, just breathing. And go ahead and make your way down onto the mat. Alright, go ahead and extend the legs out nice and long like mine. Find a cushion or a pillow or a folded blanket to sit on, and I want you to sit onto the edge of it so that the pelvis can tilt forward and you can sit up nice and tall. Go ahead and bend the right knee and bring the heel in towards the sit bones. You might need to give your belly some space, like I have. Toes might be angling out towards the right a little bit. Your left toes are pointing upwards and your left thigh is pressing down into the floor. Bring your right arm to the inside of the right knee. Hook your fingers around your big toe, or you can just have the hand wherever is most comfortable. Bring the left hand out behind you. We're coming into a little twist. So as you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, just gently, mindfully opening towards the left. And remember, we don't do deep twists during pregnancy, so this is very subtle. And we're just breathing into space here. I'm going to pause here for 5 more breaths. Nice big breaths into belly. Full exhales out. We'll do the last breath together. Nice deep full breath in. Full exhale. Nice work. Come back to center. Extend the legs nice and long. Give them a little shake out, and we'll do the other side. So gently bringing the left heel in towards the sit bones, angling the toes out if you need to. Hooking around the toes or just placing your hand somewhere around the foot or on the foot. Right toes pointing up, right thigh pressing down into the floor. Right hand out behind you. Big inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale as you gently, subtly twist towards the right. Easy gaze down towards the floor, focusing on the breath. Allowing the breath to flow up from the belly. Allowing the exhale to flow back down. Slow, mindful exhales. Three more breaths. Last breath in together. Nice deep full breath in. Exhale it out. Nice work. Come back to center. Extend the legs. Give them a little shake out. You might stay with the legs extended nice and long. You might cross your legs like mine. You might sit on your heels. Doesn't matter what you do. Just find somewhere comfortable so that we can finish up our class today. Bring your hands on top of your knees. Let your shoulders be nice and relaxed and your spine nice and long. Feel free to close the eyes or keep them open. Take a nice deep breath into belly. Flow the breath up into your chest. Full exhale through the mouth. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Big inhale. Breath rises up from the belly. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. Big inhale.
Nice work. Namaste. Well done.